Hello and welcome to the Gold and Silver Club oil price forecast for the 22nd of November 2017, presented by myself, Phil Carr, at the Gold and Silver Club. The oil price forecast will include fundamental outlook, a snapshot of the latest developments, oil technical analysis with our daily trade idea, and economic calendar, the key events to watch. Fundamental outlook, a snapshot of the latest developments. Oil edged up on Tuesday just under 1%, supported by expectations of an extension next week to OPEC output cuts. But prices remain under pressure from signs of higher output in the United States. The biggest headache for OPEC right now has been a rise in US drilling activity led by the shale oil producers, which has been implied by rising US oil rig counts, which has now jumped from 316 rigs in mid-2016 to 738 last week as producers become more productive per well. The market is now just waiting on confirmation that OPEC does still want to move on with the extension. OPEC, together with a number of non-OPEC producers led by Russia, has been restraining output this year in an effort to end a global supply overhang and prop up the prices. The OPEC meeting will take place next Thursday in Vienna, and traders will be awaiting that meeting for the next explosive move here on crude oil prices. In the interim, we have Wednesday's crude oil inventory data, which we'll also be watching closely for the short-term direction of oil. So with that, we'll move over to the charts and we'll talk you through our trade idea. Oil technical analysis with our daily trade idea. Now moving over to the charts, first of all, we'll have a look at Brent crude oil, then we'll have a look at WTI crude oil. Brent crude oil right now up 0.5% on the day, currently trading at $62.37 per barrel. The price structure right now is that of a consolidation where we are awaiting a resolution here or a breakout in either direction, in fact. If we have a look overhead, we do have resistance channels which are currently capping the price, and we've also been consolidating price here over the last 4 days, capped below $63 per barrel, but also support here just above $61 per barrel as well. We may have a bull flag continuation pattern here, which in terms of a trade idea would very simply mean we'd be looking for a breakout and a continuation, taking the price back towards the recent swing highs here and the upper end of the channel. So that is one trade idea. On a breakout here above the weekly highs, we could see a continuation pattern. Now certainly there is a lot of underlying support. All of that support goes all the way back to September. We've had several retests of the underside of the trend channel here. We've also got parallel channels here where the price is ricocheting between support and resistance, and essentially we are back within the supportive channel where oil could get a bid at these levels. On the flip side of that, oil is also vulnerable here, particularly Brent crude oil. If it was to break back below $61 per barrel, and in fact below that $60 per barrel, it would open up the door for a much more significant breakdown in price, which could take the price down as low as $57 to $55 per barrel if we were to see a break below key psychological support, which currently sits at $60 per barrel. And the catalyst for the next big move over the next week will likely be next Thursday's OPEC meeting. So that will be a major mover here for the oil price, and that will likely either provide the catalyst for a significant breakout or the potential for a much more significant decline in price. Now moving over to WTI crude oil, very similar price structure, although WTI crude oil into the close on Tuesday is up 1.2% and is leading the move here with oil. So currently the price structure has already actually broken above the weekly highs here, and in fact right now WTI crude oil is trading above $57 per barrel, and again you can see where underlying support has come back in here, and it is continuing also to ricochet between underlying support and also resistance here, getting a bid every time it's come back down towards the lower end of its trend channel. In fact, it's not that far off, retesting $58 per barrel here for WTI crude oil. So in terms of a trade idea, we could certainly see additional momentum to the upside here if we can follow through this week off the back of the oil inventories data, which is due out on Wednesday. We are already seeing the potential potential for a continuation pattern here to the upside here as well. We've already certainly broken above the weekly highs here, and right now the path of least resistance looks to be higher here for WTI crude oil in the short term. But again, very much like Brent crude oil, if we were to see a break back through underlying support and we break below the weekly lows here, it could lead to a much more significant move lower, taking the price back towards 55 US dollars per barrel if we were to break support and close below it in the coming days. What is very high probability is that next week we will see a big move off the back of Thursday's OPEC meeting. And of course, if you'd like to join us at the Gold and Silver Club to trade the oil announcement and also to get access to all of the other trades that we take at the Gold and Silver Club, including entry, exit, take profit, the full life cycle of every single trade, make sure you stay on to the end of today's session and we'll provide you with details of how you can make an application to become a member of the Gold and Silver Club. Economic calendar, the key events to watch. On Wednesday, for those of you trading crude oil, you certainly want to pay attention to Wednesday's crude oil inventory data, which is due out at 3:30 London time, which will likely be the catalyst for the short-term direction over the US session for both WTI crude oil and Brent crude oil. Later on in the session, we also have the FOMC minutes, which are due out at 7 o'clock London time, and that can also provide explosive moves to the commodities that we trade and, of course, also the US dollar. Are you ready to take your trading to the next level? Then the private members live trading room is definitely for you. For more information on the private members live trading room, please visit www.thegoldandsilverclub.com.